meeting my mother or something. I don't know. It was weird. What do you call it?
I'm with Mike,
Um,
and I usually visit Mike on Saturday. I showed you some of the paintings of Mike, but as I'm sitting here, Mike is showing me a video of a painter. Here is Mike. Now, Mike is showing me how that inspires him. You know, I guess he found this particular guy on YouTube or something, but at the same time, some of the discussion I'm having with Mike, when I sit here, Mike redid a lot of this. Okay, this is a little house where we live in Flower Bluff, and I tell Mike, I tell him, I say, this is actually living the life of the artist, as well as the other things Mike does. And Mike, I don't think, realizes that he's actually doing it himself. Now, I showed you this one the other day. I like this one. He does Jesus here. He's got the Statue of Liberty. But what I find interesting is, I don't think Mike realizes he is already doing the talent. That's his ex-girlfriend, who I never met. But, and look, sometimes Mike says, I painted a nude. Look, a lot of the Renaissance artists, they did a lot of nudes. Gauguin. Now look at all the...
No, there ain't nothing over here. It's just all a bunch of...
But the little thing the reason I turned the video on, is what I see is Mike actually doing it. He does not realize he's doing it, or that he actually has a degree of success right now. And Mike spent a lot of years on the street, okay? Mike spent a lot of years homeless. He's renting this nice little house. He's doing a lot of this work on his own.
This right here is a fine artist, Caesar.
Let me get you in the picture.
Look how realistic he does that. But that was close comfort all by himself. He was brought up as an artist. He's an amazing cultural artist. He's probably Italian, Spanish, but he was brought up with no distraction.
Yeah.
He was brought up in the art world. His artwork looks like that. And there was no problem with anybody giving him any kind of,
part of what I was sharing with Mike is a lot of people that produce, whether they're producing art, writers, my little stuff that I do, a lot of times it comes out of the midst of trials. It comes out of the midst of anxiety, depression, difficulty. I think, and I was telling Mike, and he's familiar with it, a lot of the Renaissance artists,
exactly.
They had all the
died,
cutting ears off, things of this nature.
Well, the Renaissance is not just the Renaissance in the background.
Yeah.
The Renaissance of Ken Ford died about 15 years ago. He was with the Renaissance. Richie, that drives a motorcycle,
yes.
He's with the Renaissance too. And Eli, with the long black hair. They're from the Renaissance. That's German, Irish, and English, and Spanish. European is what it is. And I'm a European artist. I'm an American, what I am. I'm actually Saxon American, English, and Irish. But the point is
I'll do this real quick. The Renaissance is a period of history from about the 1200s up into the 1500s. The actual term for Renaissance, it was a cultural renewal of Roman Greco world. They rediscovered the writings of Aristotle, a philosopher, and it was a rediscovery of that culture at that time. We refer to that in history as the Renaissance. Then you had the famous artists and others. The location of the famous city for the Renaissance was out of Florence, Italy. That's that's how we trace it.
And if you ever go to HEB, you'll see the boar's head real big up there, and all that expensive food up there on the deli, on the other side of the deli, is from the Renaissance.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. I don't, English,
and Mike
Irish, Italian.
Mike was talking a little bit. Now he knows I'm Italian, Mike, and he was kind
I'm English, but the deal is
talking about the heritage, how heritage affects us.
I have had a lot of friends die that were really into the Renaissance and heavy metal and artwork and all that. And Ken Ford died, overdose, and a lot of friends, more than 20, more than 30. But and drugs. But the deal is, and they were at the Renaissance sword fighting on Ocean Drive and
yes,
And Ken told me before he croaked, 35 years old, that how better he was than he was, or whatever. But you know, you ever watch the movie Braveheart? It's kind of like that.
Yes.
He was the British. I am the Scottish, but I am British. I'm a lot of everything. But the deal is that me and Ken got into it, and Ken threatened me, but he overdosed on his drugs and his medication. 35 years old.
Mike, there was also a good artist from this area of Flower Bluff that you've told me about before, but I never met him, and he died. His
But
name
the here dead man tell me to stick with my art.
What was his name? Merrick? The guy who was a good artist?
That was before Merritt. His name is Ken Ford.
Oh, okay.
He's Irish, English, from the Renaissance, which his dad was in the military like my father, just the same family, same type of family. You know, dark wood furniture and all this good shit. And came from the same family I did, but he had a big head. But he overdosed, and he threatened my life a few times, but with swords and fight and guns and shit. But he was on medication. He was smoking a lot of marijuana.
There was a particular catchphrase from the Renaissance, and it was called ad fontes. Ad fontes. What that meant was back to the sources. They were saying, look, we're going back to the original sources. A lot of the great artists, they study, they go back to some of the original famous Picassos, Rembrandts and all, and that was the term for it. Now Mike is just starting. I like this one a lot. He says it's not finished yet, but to me, it's perfect the way it is. I showed you that one last week. But he's doing the Statue of Liberty.
No more.
And then he's doing but that one I like. Okay, I wanted to do an update.
The reason I drew the Jesus with his blood shredding on his back is because after he got his ass whipped by
scourging,
getting his back slashed and stuff, it looks to me like he dripped a cross off his back and sat on that porch next to the ocean and said, give Jesus a fucking break.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not the only one alive, dude.
Yeah.
Jesus. If Jesus is supposed to save you, give him a break.
Yeah.
I painted Jesus, and I said, I know a little bit about the Renaissance. I know a little bit about everything. But I was in a state of drunken depression.
Yeah.
And so when I wake up in the morning, I paint whatever I feel. I said, well, you know what? Let's don't get all crazy with rock and roll and heavy metal. Let's just paint basic sky, land, Jesus, the Statue of Liberty, Abraham Lincoln. If I'm going to do it out of my mind, I'm not going to copy it from anything. I'm going to see how well I have a memory. How well of a memory I have.
I've mentioned this before about you, Mike.
And
you do it free. You're not I have friends that copy. Friends that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But your work is coming out of just what you're
trying to do is, bring back a Renaissance thing through the Rembrandt and the old artists' days when they had to do everything out of their mind without copying something. If you want to go into moderation and look at a picture and then copy it, or a printer or whatever and copy it, that's cool. I mean, you can do all kinds of things with that.
At that time of history, there was a Catholic family, Italians, they were called the Medicis, back to the Renaissance.
That's what I was
What
talking
the Medicis did was they took some of these Renaissance artists and they funded them. They supported them. They were the ones that actually were, because it was a corrupt family, the Medici family, but they wanted to support, and they kind of made that area of Italy, a cultural center. And so they had the backing.
Awesome.
That's
what I was trying to, that's what I was explaining. As far as life and death goes, and the way I'm feeling, I'm very deep into my artwork at this time of my life, and I was trying to express myself in originality, in a memory way, to where I could do something without looking at something, just by doing it.
Yes.
If my mom has got cancer, inside my dad, my father, my mom, whoever came to mind, I could do it without looking at it.
Yeah.
And make it look real.
Yes.
And make it look like she was there, or he was there. without looking at a. I don't need a photograph because, well, I know it's a life and death situation, and to an artist's mind, if I was to draw my mother or my father, and they told me, if you can draw your mother without looking at her and make her look just like her, she'll live. Would you do it? You're goddamn right I would do it.
Yeah.
I'm not Ozzy Osbourne, but it sounds like I'm saying. But you're damn right I would do it. That's what I'm trying to say.
There's an image. You know, Scripture talks about an image that we have in our mind. We can. There are things that are imprinted. People that have experienced traumatic events, they will see that image. Sometimes they'll dream about it over and over. So we have images in our mind. The main thing I want you to see, I'm going to shut it in a second. Look.
I'm getting this right.
Go ahead, Mike. I gave the verse to Mike when he painted the picture of Jesus from Hebrews. That actually Hebrews says when we are, Hebrews 12, when we're going through difficulty, it says, consider in your mind what Jesus went through, that you do not faint in yourselves. So in a way, when he did that painting of Jesus, he was expressing to me that look what he went through for us. And I said, you know, that's in Scripture, Mike. It talks about that. And if we remember that, it also encourages us. This is very real time. I just like the environment Mike has. I found it very interesting that he himself, in my mind, is accomplishing some of the things that he doesn't even realize he accomplishes. And I think in life it's that way. I'm going to end it. We're going to keep talking because it's 12 minutes, but I wanted everyone to see. This looks good the way it is.
Look, I just want to say it. This is a historical moment. God bless you all. When my mom and dad passes away and my paintings get sent to the landfill, they get
noticed. I have some of yours already.
Yeah, but that's not nothing like this.
I know.
I'm just saying, in a Renaissance way, cultural way, I want you to know, I love my mom and dad, and I love my family, and I love my culture.
Yes.
And it is not my fault. In a historical way, all the wars that happened, why things are the way they are, why all the Vietnam people I meet, and why things happen the way they happen, and the president nowadays, whatever.
Yeah.
But the reason I express myself in a strong way is because I don't know all the answers. Part of what I'm going through.
Yeah.
But I don't have all the answers. But I express myself because I feel I have come to a point in the last many years of my life that I'm a real artist and I can express myself through my art and pray to God for my well-being that I die in peace. And maybe someday my art will be good for some people.
Yeah.
And notice
that
will be brought for good.
Yes.
Yes.
I think you get. Let me show you Bear real quick. I'll end it. I mentioned the dogs the other day. This is Bear. This is sometimes when Mike comes by, he had the dogs.
Back in the Vietnam days, Filipino people.
I'm going to end it. I'm going to keep talking to Mike, but I hope you enjoyed that.
I love all this.